Hi everybody, this is Steven from Just Got Played. I got a copy of Motor City here on my table. This game goes up to 4 players, so we're going to play a 4-player game of it tonight. Me, my wife, and 2 of our friends are over here. So I'm going to show you that playthrough. I'm going to do a brief overview of the rules that I do for everybody, because none of us have played it before. And then we're going to play through, I don't know, a round or 2. I'm not going to have the whole playthrough of the game here, but just enough for you to learn the game and, see what a round looks like. There are 8 rounds, and so I guess I'll put one of them in the video here. So, all right, let's get to it. All right, Motor City.
So
all
now
right,
we should stop talking.
you talk about what you want. I don't care. So, there's several different dice. So what you do at the beginning is the start player of every round. There's going to be 8 rounds, so you can see the scores here, 8 rounds. So I'm going to roll these dice, and then I'm going to put them where they belong, right? So this is the gray dice, and that's a 5. Well, it was a 5, right? That's a 5. And see, there's a 3, and there's a 1, and there's a blue 3, and a blue 1, and another blue 3. Yeah, a couple of white 6s, and a white 1. We'll worry about that later. That's the auditor die. All right, so what we're going to do then is everybody's going to go around, and starting with the first player, we're each going to draft a die. So we'll each take 2, 8 of them will come off, and then there'll be 1 left, and we'll use the one. Everybody uses the one that's left. So what do you do when you take a die? So when you take a die, you have a choice of what you want to do with it. So if I were to take this 3, I get this, which is a light bulb, which is the thing you get to check off on one of your sheets. I'll explain that in a minute. But then what I can do with this is I can either research. Okay, well, so the light bulb checks off one of these boxes on the research track. Okay. Anytime you take a die, you can always use it to research instead of whatever column it's in. But this is in the
Money?
What is that? Sales? Sales. Yeah, it's over here. Sales. The top left of the. You see the symbol. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's a sales die. So when I take this die, I can do oh my gosh, I'm so pathetic. I can do a sales action, which means I check off one of the boxes under sales, or I can upgrade sales. So you can see over here on this sheet, you see there's sales. And it's got 1, 2, and 3. So I can upgrade sales, which means I fill in another hole. Then in the future, when I take a sales action, I check off 2 things in the sales box instead of 1. Except when you do an upgrade, you have to pay money. You have to pay 5 money for the first one and 7 money for the second one, which is listed here. That's one of the things you could use money for. All right. So, but anyway, you take the die, you do a sales action. Sales is actually a little bit different than most, because most you exit off, but in sales, you just kind of complete the circle to show that you made that sale, and that shows that you have that money, and then you check it off if you spend the money. If you don't spend the money, unspent money is worth 5 money is worth a point at the end of the game. Also, you can see at different places, like when you get to that first one is the light bulb. When you circle that one, that gives you a light bulb, which allows you to check off another thing on your research track, right? So there's a lot of synergies between the different tracks here. Okay, so then I take the die, and then I get to place the die on one of these actions that I have: testing, sales, production, or engineering. So I could place the die on sales again and check another thing or circle another thing on sales. Or I could put it in testing and check off one of the things on the testing track. I'll explain all the tracks. At the beginning, and then when you take your second die, this space is blocked, so I'd have to put it on a different space. Mm-hmm. Also, each round, one of the spaces, this is going to get rolled, and it's going to block one of these spaces so that you can't place it every round. So that's what that's about. But that doesn't happen until the end of the round, so the first round, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so that's how the game goes. You get to do all that stuff. Now, I said at the end, one of these dice is going to be left. So say this die was left. everybody would get to use this die. We wouldn't get the stuff that's underneath it, but we all would get to do an engineering action. So check off one of the things on the engineering track. All right, so let's look at the different tracks. So I talked about the research track a few times, right? So there's these squares that you check off, and then there's a circle. When you fill in the circle, you get a free action or you spend at shop. So a free action is just checking a box off somewhere else at your current level, right? Like if you were level 3 for production, your free action could be do 3 checks on the production track, right? Or the shop is up here. It lists the 3 things you can buy. So the first one is see that plus and then those 2 things. These are TPS reports. All right. So this would give you 2 TPS reports. So you would look somewhere on this board that find somewhere that requires a TPS report. So like in this production area, these are requirements. You have to spend these to unlock these, or up here in engineering at the very top, all these require a TPS. And so if I got these 2, I could just cross off the ones that I want to cross off. You can see right here, these items in the shop also require a TPS. So if you don't have the TPS, you don't get the free thing in the shop. You have to have spent that. All right, well, so that's the research track. That's probably the simplest one. The sales track is also pretty simple. I already explained it. You circle things, you cross it off if you spend the money, and you get stuff as you go along. So this one right here, so the light bulb is the first one. That's research. This next one is you get a free engineering action, right? Then the next one is a free speedometer. This is the speedometer over here, a free check off on the speedometer. The speedometer is interesting because it's not an action, but at the end of every round, you score points according to where your speedometer is. And also number 1 is speedometer. That increases your speedometer. All right. All right. So what can you spend money on? If you save it, it's worth points. Otherwise, you can spend it for upgrades, right? I talked about the 5 or 7. You can spend it. This 4 money is to ignore the auditor die. You can spend 4 money. So if the auditor die is blocking some action you really want to do, you can spend 4 money to use that action that round. Or you can buy a new test car. Now you're going to get a free test car at the beginning of the game. So let's look at the test track down here. So there's 3 test tracks. So you're going to fill in one of these with your free test car. And that means your car is at the space where the arrow is pointing. And then every time you do the testing action, which looks like a Mustang or whatever, you just move along that track. So looking at this first track, the first thing there is it's a shipping container A. So that gives you shipping container A, which you'll notice over here, you need that to score this thing, right? This is a meeple. Anytime you see the filled in meeple, that's an engineer. So you unlock an engineer. So you have to have an engineer filled in to proceed up one of the tracks. You'll get a free engineer in the beginning of the game. You can pick which one you want. Other things that are in here, there's a tire, which you need somewhere over here. Yeah, here's the A tire, right? You need that to score that. This money thing with the symbol here, this is a free sales action. If it looks like this, see the sales action with an arrow going this side, that's an upgrade. So you get an upgrade to that action without even paying for it. So that's what that is. I think all the other symbols are pretty self-explanatory on the test track. This test track over here has a fork in it. So as you go over here, you can decide one way to go. And you can only go one way. All right. Now let's say, okay, so engineering. So I was talking about engineering. Engineering, you'll have a track and you'll start proceeding up it. So for instance, this track, right, there's a money and then there's a light bulb and then there's a free upgrade to the production action and then there's a shipping container E and then a space, a light bulb and 2 money. And then up here. All right. So up here at the top, it says when you get to the top, you can just sort of fill in the thing around to show that you've unlocked that. But to actually score the bonus points, you have to spend 2 TPS reports to unlock the bonus. So this 2 TPS reports at the top are a cost, but it says 4 points per tire at the end of the game. So remember back over here, like tire A, tire B, tire C. There may only be A, B, C. I don't know if there's a D. I only see. I think I only see A, B, C. You might have. I'm not positive. But there's at least 3 of them. So if you had all of those and you had this unlocked, that's 12 points at the end of the game, right? I think it's going to be a little. There's a lot going on, so we just got to start playing to actually sort of understand it. But
so on the first one on the engineering, it's 3 points for every check mark.
Okay, so check marks. I haven't gotten to those yet. Those are these certificates here. So down here in the production area, there are these certificates. So that is an unlocked certificate. So 3 for each of those that you have unlocked. So when you unlock a certificate, like here is a certificate, here is a certificate, here is a certificate. When you achieve one of those, there's one there too, you check one of these boxes off and it gives you something, right? This one is just 5 points. This one is, not sure what that is, production action, any check mark, I don't know. This one changes unspent money is 2 unspent money is a point instead of 5, if you get that one. This one at the beginning is it increases your speedometer and I think you get to do another action, right? So anyway, so the check mark just means completed certificate. So this top one at the top gives you 3 points for completed certificate.
Okay.
So that one's 4 points for tire. This one is 2 points per in the production area. Again, you have completed things that you complete. So that's what this one is. And this one is 2 points per research circle. So which is every 3rd research. All right, cool. So, all right, let's look at production. Well, I think I'm just doing an explanation.
Yes.
As we play it, it'll make more sense. But I just wanted to sort of explain before we started playing. So in the production area, you can take any path you want, as long as it's a continuous path. So your first one is going to be checking off this money and taking it. And then the second one will be checking off this space. But then you can go up, you can go over, you can go down, you can simultaneously work on multiple paths. It doesn't matter. When you get to one of these, you fill it in around the edge, but only if you meet all of the requirements do you check it off, and then you get whatever the bonus is in the top right. So this one is an increase in speedometer. This one is points. Looks like they're all points or speedometer, aren't they? This one is actually 2 speedometer. It looks like speedometer plus 1. Yeah. Okay. Huh?
You're looking over here for speedometer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So this one, if you get to that middle, and you checked off both those TPS reports, then you get a double 2 increase.
I see what the speedometer looks like now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Speed? No. I'm sure I am not.
All right. I think that basically explains it. So there's 8 rounds, and then your score is any points that you have on your board plus any speedometer points you've accrued during the game. All right. And I didn't mention 6 here, where there's no bonus underneath the 6, but it lets you do any of the 4 actions. All right. So the first thing that we need to do is we all need to choose a test car. I'm just going to fill in the first test car. And we need to choose an engineer. I'm going to choose this engineer. Because to pursue the other tracks, you either have to buy a test car or get an engineer somehow.
Why would I have to buy it?
Well, you start with 1 test car, but you can't work on any of the other test tracks than the one that you have test car on. You have to get another test car.
Okay.
And I think the only way to get one is to buy it. I don't see anywhere that gives you one, so you just have to pay 8 money for it.
Third engineer?
I did start on the 3rd engineer, yeah. I did that because the 3rd step of the 3rd engineer is a free upgrade to the production action, and I was thinking I was going to try to do some production actions this game. So, I don't know. That might not be smart, but we'll see.
So you fill in a meeple.
Yeah, you fill in one of the meeples, and that is, any track that has a meeple filled in, you can pursue up that track. You get more engineers. You can get one in the shop. It requires a TPS report and research. Or you can find them on, like, the first track. The first test track has a meeple just 3 spaces in. Yeah, the first test track. So there's other ways out there to get engineers. I don't think any There's a lot of TPS reports and money out here on the board, as well as like production actions and stuff. Oh, there's no engineers out here. Some research.
Same one you are.
Oh man,
What's that?
I'm going to copy somebody that knows what they're doing.
Nice.
Well, it's
Why
got,
are you looking over here?
That's a short one.
Well, it is, but you can't. After 3, you're done with that track, and it doesn't have any bonus points
and
associated
you
with
need
it.
a meeple.
It does get you an increase to your sales skill, though, which is nice. So, yeah, I mean, it's a nice track, but then it quickly peters out.
I'm going to try this since I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, none of us know what we're doing. None of us have played this yet.
All right.
So 4-player game, first time for everybody. All right. I was going to try to play this solo and stream it, but I haven't had the opportunity. So,
So do I have any other choices to make?
no, just those 2, the car and the engineer. All right. And so I'm the first player. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to choose this blue 3, right? So I'm going to take this blue 3. That gives me +1 test track. Right, so I get 1 on the test track, which is this A, shipping container. I'm going to cross that off.
+1. That's true.
Yep.
Shipping container. And you cross it off.
Yeah, now I get to put this die somewhere. And I think I'm going to put it on engineering. So I'm going to put...
Cross it off.
Sorry, I crossed it off here because I have this car, and you have to go clockwise.
Can you pick any one of these to cross off?
Well, this was the A shipping container, so I'm just crossing off that I have the A
it.
shipping container. And then I put the 3 here, which gives me an engineering. So I'm going to cross this off, which gives me a money.
Okay.
If I do the same thing, I'm going to have to concentrate.
And so you just made the circle darker on the money track?
You're supposed to circle the edge of it to show that you have that money, and then you exit out when you use it.
But yeah.
So that's what you did? You circled it?
Yeah. I tried to. I didn't do a great job. Okay. And so now it is Ray's turn to choose a die. Well, one thing you could do is you can always take a 1, which is a speedometer, which is going to give you points every round for the rest of the game, right? If you get a 1 speedometer right now, that's 8 guaranteed points because it's got every round it's going to fire. So it's not a bad choice. And you could get a money, a TPS report, or or a research thing. And then, of course, you also can trigger an action with the die.
Sure, let's do it that way.
All right, so you get 1 check on your research because that was what was in this space.
Okay, research.
This is research down here.
Here.
Yep. So you check off the first one. Now you check off your speedometer space because that's what this action was. And now you get to put that die on one of these 4 spaces and get to do that action. Also, note you don't have to do the action that's up here.
So if
you can
put it on
do
engineering,
research instead.
that moves my engineering thing up 1.
Yep, that's right.
Which then gives me a money.
Yep. You got it.
I check this off, right?
Now you circle one of your first money thing.
Circle, because X means I spent it.
Yeah. You circle the outline in the X.
How do you spend it?
Well, you can spend it to
Up here.
upgrade,
Upgrade 5.
or to disregard the auditor die, or to buy a new test car.
And that's all you can spend it on.
Otherwise, it's points at the end of the game.
What's the auditor
You
die?
upgrade these things.
It's not on anything. Just the first round.
That's why there's only 2 upgrades. After the second upgrade, there's no more to go.
Yeah.
Which isn't-
First, 7, second, and 6.
How much money
Wait,
do I currently?
why is that? I mean,
0?
1, 2, 1. There's
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of things to upgrade.
Yeah.
Why is there only 2 upgrades?
What do you mean?
Can up to any
You,
of them.
each
so
one you
this
can
for-
upgrade
okay,
2
each
times.
one 5 and
Yeah.
7, 5 and 7,
Yeah.
5 and 7.
Yep.
I understand.
What's
that.
the point of having like 3 upgrades? You get tripled or
Yeah, so
you
like
get triple.
if I did the engineering action, if that was 3, I would have checked off 3 things instead of just 1.
Ooh, your chair's wet for some reason. Why am I sitting in a wet chair?
Because you were wet when you sat in it.
Okay.
Just
So we don't move. Okay, so we don't move.
I won't ask. I don't want to know.
Wearing my astronaut underwear.
All right, so this one I move 1 space.
What's her name from?
Yeah, I remember that story. Drove all the way to Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't even stop. Drove here to Orlando from Texas.
Oh, okay.
But she couldn't stop at the rest areas because she was in.
I get one. I get
Had to
one.
stop for gas. Man, whatever.
I get 1 money.
Okay, sorry. Which die did you take?
The other one that was there.
Okay, you took this one, so that's 1 test track,
Yeah.
right? So you did the 1 test track,
Yeah.
and you crossed off the A,
Yeah.
and you have a sales.
Yeah.
So the sales is
Just 1.
1 money.
Right.
Yep. Now you put that die on your board and do whatever action you want to do there, which could be sales again, or something else. Now, just to be clear, when you do this, when you take a die, you don't have to do this. You could use it for research always, or you could use it to upgrade that action, but none of us can do that right now because you have to pay when you do it. But just to be clear, it's a choice. It's a valid life choice.
This one. So I don't have no idea. Production. All right, we'll go in at production.
Okay.
And I get this month. 1 more.
Okay.
All right. So now I get 2 money.
Yay! You got 2 money.
All right.
All right, Laura.
I guess I'll take the one that has a TPS report on it.
Oh, that's what I wanted next.
Okay.
Okay, so use your TPS reports. You have to check off some TPS reports somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywhere?
Any of the TPS reports, you just cross them out and show that you earned it.
I guess that one.
Well, you don't get 2 actions.
Okay, yep, that's valid.
Okay. Then I do. It was in the speedometer column,
It was in the speedometer
so I
column.
do this,
Yep,
and then I put this on one of my actions.
yep.
And I will do engineering.
Okay.
I get 3 money. My first one here. Get paid, signing bonus.
Hello.
So I circle 3 on the sales track.
Yep. All right, I am going to take this 1, so that gives me 1 money. And then it's a speedometer, so I'm going to fill in my first speedometer. And now I cannot put this on engineering because I did that before. So I think I'm just going to do production. And I'm going to cross off this 1, and that's going to give me another money. Okay, and now it's Ray's turn. See how fast a turn is once you know how the game works?
Don't know what we're doing.
Sure. So I get a TPS report and a money,
Yeah.
and a engineering.
Yeah, thanks for covering that up.
Well, I don't know where to put the die other than cover up the symbol.
Okay, so I get a TPS and a money. So
Why is that
money's
one so
easy.
good?
And an engineering.
Boards really be bigger or use smaller dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is a pre-production
All right.
version.
So where do I?
Okay,
Where,
well, if you
TPS
post-production
report. Where do
people
you
are listening.
put? Where do I say I have a TPS report?
You have to find one of the TPS reports on here. Like this is a requirement for a TPS report,
Anywhere.
or here, anywhere there's a requirement for one, even on the top of an engineering track, and cross it off. But you have to do it now. You can't like save it and do it later. Yeah, I know.
Okay, then we'll cross off that.
There'll be plenty more TPS reports in your future. Don't worry.
Yeah, there always is. There always is. And so we did those. I need to place it. Wait, what was the wrench thing? The wrench is production.
No, you were here. You were here. So it's engineering. It was here. So
Okay,
it's
I'm sorry,
engineering.
Good thing someone's paying attention.
I am paying attention.
So I cross off one in the engineering thing,
Uh-huh.
which is a research. So I put in a research
Man, you're
thing.
killing it with the research, man.
And we'll go into
I need more of this sweet research stuff.
production, which crosses off my first $1. And we'll go.
Oh, Ray's killing it. Everybody gang up on Ray. Just kidding.
How can I gang up on anything?
Yeah, it's not, other than taking the die they might want, there's not a whole
Yeah,
lot
but
of
how?
Maybe you read this.
Yeah, okay.
gang. Yeah, I know.
This is
That's a research and sales. That would give you a research and sales plus whatever you choose to do with the die.
this is money. Yeah. Right?
Huh?
Yeah. One more money.
Yeah, sales money. Yeah.
And then This research, I just cross off one of these?
Yes.
Anyone?
No, the
No,
first.
the first one. Yeah, it's just a
You have
track.
to move left or right.
What are you buying?
What?
How
Nothing.
did you circle them already?
Circle what?
Did I do?
Fill them in.
What are you talking about?
The sales.
These?
What did you buy?
I didn't
No,
buy any.
that's how much money he's
He didn't
picked up.
fill it in, did he?
Yeah, he did. He just
Oh.
picked up one, didn't he?
What are you supposed to do?
You're
I thought-
supposed to complete the circle, shows that you have the money. Filling it in means you spent the money.
I thought X.
I thought X, yeah, that's right.
You said X originally.
Filling it in or Xing, whatever. It doesn't matter as long as you're doing
I was planning.
consistently.
Yeah, I was planning Xing.
Yeah,
So,
that's fine.
I'm going to fill in and then X.
I mean, it's dotted around the edge so that you can, but it doesn't work that way.
Okay, so I
I
got
can't
that.
see
I got that.
Yeah, I know.
And, okay.
So whatever works for you.
If you gave me two different colors, I could go with a red Sharpie and say I've spent it.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
I'm going to move another one here.
I have a red Sharpie. I
So
do.
how do
Blue
I
Sharpie.
X here? Just
Yeah, that's under
Tony.
the car space. Yeah.
We're talking over here.
Okay.
Tony's, Tony's winning.
Oh, you said that 5 seconds ago about me.
What
Yeah,
did
it's
you
over. So you take one of those. Right? So you get to do one of those 4 actions, which is these 4. So choose, and then you put the die somewhere and you choose.
Oh, so I do get to do both those things. So
Yeah.
I want to do moving my car.
No.
Gives me a light bulb.
Did you want to buy something, buddy?
And then I want to
Okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow, okay?
Production. Gives me a money.
Cool. All right, so now this die was left for everybody, so we all get to do one of these of our choice. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to do this engineering action, which is going to give me a research.
I'm going to do the racetrack, which gives me cargo A.
I'm going to do.
Which then
Wait, can we do speedometer?
No, that's not one of the choices.
All right, we're going to do. Move along. I'm going to get a meatball here.
meat grinder.
Cool. So just fill in one of the meeples on
Right.
one of the engineering tracks. Let's do this.
You know, you don't have to be that exact on the meatball. I just kind of went in there.
Well, if you're going to do something, we'll do it right.
Oh, that's
Okay,
like-
so now everybody scores points according to their speedometer. So here on the end of first round, put whatever your speedometer level is.
Ooh, 0.
All right, we're all leaving Tony at the
Wait,
starting
you
line.
just said Tony was winning. I'm seeing a trend here.
All right, so now I'm going to roll this 2. All right, so what that means is everybody takes their auditor marker and put it on the testing. You can't choose testing as an action.
So we take these other ones off now?
Yeah, you can take all these other ones off. In fact, they're going to go to Ray because Ray, you're going to roll them because you're going to be the first player now this next round. And there you have it. I had a final score of 77 points. So, you can see here I got 18 points from my car dealership because I saved up a lot of money. I unlocked this certificate down here that gave me, for every $2, I got a point. And then here on the test track, I got 8 points. Here in production, I got 10 points. Here in engineering, I got 8 points. And then, I had all these points from my speedometer. I sort of got stuck here at like 7.5, couldn't quite get up to 8. But anyway, that was my final score, 77. But my wife had a final score of 78. Although, as she reminded me way back in turn 1, because I didn't quite catch it, she did cheat. So, but overall it was a pretty close game. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this partial playthrough. And if you have any questions, look in the description of the video. There's a link to our Discord channel, or you can just leave a comment here on YouTube, and I'll answer whatever I can. But until the next time, thanks everybody.